And we have a different camera.
Yes.
And we have a different
So that so that everyone can see you nicely.
Maybe everybody can hear us better. Though the camera has no work with that, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Sajeet, आपकी आवाज नहीं आती है लोगों
मेरी आवाज बहुत ही
He's a soft
spoken person.
Only speaking Arizona is a bull-headed person. Khair, chalo.
And you call me a bear?
That's an interesting combination. He's a bear with the head of a bull. Anyways, so 25117. Not bad a day.
Not bad
Sixth
for
day
a
of an update.
expiry day. But
खेल तो लास्ट 2 घंटे में खेला जाएगा.
अभी तो खेल शुरू नहीं हुआ. सुबह का खेल हो गया, अभी दोपहर का खेल बाकी है.
When Niraj sir enters the studio is when the game
begins.
You can say the same.
खेला होगा.
खेला हो बे. नहीं आती है.
But I think you saw SEBI's recent comments
a
on
pre-IPO trading platform. This is so much necessary.
And so it will basically take away the volumes from the private market to this platform. So my assumption is that anyone who has filed a DRHP and there are shares to be traded, they can come on this platform and trade. It basically means that.
The other way to think of this is, and you are right, but the other way to think of this is that if there are businesses which have got access to private paper, now there will be a lot more ease of buying into them, simply because you know that eventually there is a platform on which it can be traded.
More than that, it's bringing in trust in the market.
No, but how? No, the trust is fine. How do you think this plays out? Do you think companies will say, now I don't need to go to, let's say, for
companies have no role in it. Let me put it this way.
नहीं, अभी मेरे अगर प्री आईपीओ शेयर्स थे तो 5 ब्रोकर्स को एक्सेस था, तो वो लोग एक कमीशन चार्ज करते थे. Now, if there is a pre-IPO platform, does it nullify those businesses?
Yes, it does, because those private markets used to charge a huge premium or a commission for this transaction, right? Now, what you're talking about is that, see, the two things which have happened in the last 1.5 months. All shares, whether of listed or unlisted, have to be in demat form. Right? Earlier, क्या होता था कि IPO से पहले लोग demat करते थे. That's that kind of thing. Yeah, promoter shares used to be in the physical form. Only investor shares used to be in demat form. In the last 2 months or 3 months, as SEBI has changed the thing, all shares have to be in demat form. If demat form shares are going to be there, then you put a platform which is going to be, but naturally bring in a platform which regularize and controls the way trading is happening.
So therefore, those businesses
and so
which used to do pre-IPO trading,
yes,
that businesses will go away. I mean,
it cannot go away. Go away तो नहीं होगा, but हाँ, आप पहले 10 रुपए कमाते थे एक शेयर में, अब आप 2 रुपए कमाएंगे, because it's again, this is again a pre-IPO platform where the commissions will be determined by the brokers or the demand and supply. Let me put it this way. अभी ऐसा नहीं है कि नीरज की 10 HNI clients or Niraj has access to some shares. Now, if some investor wants to sell it, they can come and put in there and you buy.
And efficiency in price also.
Yeah. Pricing. It doesn't mean that the restrictions which are there on these shares post-listing goes away. It doesn't mean that. It brings in much more credibility and security for the retail investors who's getting it in a big way. So look at the NSE, right? I mean, NSE at the end of June had 1.6 lakh investors in it. Just two quarters away, it was just 30,000 or something, 30,000 investors. The kind of retail participation.
And 1 quarter back, it was 1 lakh.
1 lakh or something.
So it's actually just
exponentially is growing, right? So the ticket size are coming down, and a lot of retail investors coming in. And what we were hearing in the market was that there's a lot of defaults happening because मैंने बोला कि मैं बेचूंगा और उसने बेच दिया पर delivery नहीं हो रही.
Sorry, gentlemen, I need to go on TV and I need to come back.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll wait for you.
We'll wait for you. May I request the producers, please, if you can get the pantry to send a glass of water. Yes. Really thirsty. 2?
No, 2. Yeah, 2
glasses of water. If you can hear us, please, a request.
So the other big news which we are talking about is the chairman talking about that he's going to bring in a discussion paper on, bringing in long duration contracts in derivatives. Now, that's something which we have been talking about, right? Last 2 months, we've been talking about that SEBI wants a long duration contracts in derivative, and weekly contracts is what they are not
Define long duration, Sajeet.
more than 1 week or monthly, और two
पर मंथली
weeks
कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स तो अभी भी है.
है. बट क्या है कि आज के डेट में जो जितने भी वॉल्यूम्स है वो नियर मंथ में है. बट इफ यू लुक एट ग्लोबल प्रैक्टिसेस, द मैक्सिमम वॉल्यूम हैपेंस इन दी लॉन्ग ड्यूरेशन.
मैं तो वही बोल रहा हूँ, 1 साल के भी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स होते
एक
हैं.
साल के नहीं, 2 महीने के कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में होते हैं.
नहीं, बट 1 साल के कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स होते हैं ग्लोबल.
होते हैं.
यहाँ पे नहीं है.
नहीं, यहाँ पर नहीं,
यहाँ वो प्लान नहीं
यहाँ
है.
पर नहीं है. So they move,
That's not the plan you are
that's not
saying.
the plan.
Okay.
They want to move away from the weekly thing. And by the way, I think this is the last week for BSE for a weekly contract, because next week onwards they will shift to I think Thursday expiry, and NSE will shift to NSE के लिए 2 हफ्ते हैं और BSE के लिए 1 हफ्ता है, ऐसे कुछ है. So in next 2 weeks you're going to see that swap of expiry also happening, where NSE will start expiring on a Tuesday and BSE will start expiring on a Thursday. So that thing is also going to come into play there. So, but it's going to be a little bit negative for BSE, because a lot of volumes are built on weekly contracts for them and not on long monthly contracts. NSE के लिए नेगेटिव नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं है, पर NSE का लॉन्ग टर्म 1 month or 2 month contracts are fairly liquid in that sense. So from that point of view, yes. But again, it's a couple of months. I think by the end of the year or next year or something, आएगा, जब भी आएगा. But there's a lot of resistance from the exchanges, because so there are 3 now. We have 3 companies which will be impacted, right? You have CDSL, you have NSTL, and BSE. These 3 companies will be impacted if transaction volumes come down because of shift in the duration of weekly options.
Okay.
And converting them into either is a monthly or a every 15-day kind of option which is there. So those are the things which is there. But I want your take on 2 things. One, removal of GST, exemption of GST from insurance, and the second one is the block deal which everyone is talking about.
उसके पहले just a small statistic, Sajeet. Somebody highlighted this to me today.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Zomato's market cap has eclipsed the market cap of Hindustan Aeronautics. Zomato's EBITDA for FY25, 700 crores. Guess Hindustan Aeronautics EBITDA. I have it in front of me, that's why I know.
बताओ. 10 times.
9,000 crore. 14 times. Just the nature of the beast.
Yeah, I think someone was telling, right, that these platform companies needs to be looked at from a EV to EBITDA basis and not just EBITDA basis, multiple. And I think mid-teens EBITDA is something which you should be looking at for companies which have profitable EBITDA. So mid-teens मतलब तो valuation तो इनका बहुत ज़्यादा
होगा. But I'm and then I'll answer your question, by the way. But I'm remembering the conversation with the Pankaj Murarka, and the reason I'm remembering this also because today we had a small chat with Ramdev Agrawal, wherein he spoke about these internet businesses as well. That the pace of change of earnings because of operating leverage would be tremendous into these businesses, and the incumbents will have the best chance of making money because they are here already. They know the business, they know the customer, and they have the access to the customer. But I remember Pankaj Murarka way back, Sajeet, telling me that these businesses will find their way into the indices, and these businesses will be amongst the top 10 market caps in the country by between 2030 2035. You don't know when. It could happen earlier as well, but he believed that and the other businesses will grow in market cap, right? But these businesses, the internet businesses, whichever it is, whether it's, he didn't name companies, whether it's Zomato, Swiggy, Zepto, blah blah, whatever it is, or a Paytm or a PB Fintech, जो भी platform business will become the top 10 businesses in the country. 2 or 3 of these will be these. Ramdev today said 5 out of the top 10 could actually be these companies.
And will all those 5 be profitable?
Well, if you grow to that size, you obviously will be profitable. I doubt that at that point of time, nahi hoga. But as much as, NVIDIA has taught this to me, Sajeet, that you never say never. What NVIDIA has been able to do is insane. So,
but they have a product, right?
Yeah,
in that sense.
Yeah, Zomato is a product.
It's a platform.
Yeah, but that platform is a product, right? You're using that. Service है, चलो ठीक है, प्रोडक्ट नहीं है, सर्विस है, बट है ना. अल्फाबेट चलो 3 ट्रिलियन तो है ना, सिंपल है, वो तो सर्विसेज ही है पर से. the did you know?
Hmm.
Okay, I have it with me, but which is why I know. So you are at a disadvantage here. The did you know? From August 2019
Hmm.
to August 2025, what did well, silver or gold?
I would say gold would have done well.
Both have done well. Silver marginally better. What did better than gold and silver?
Crypto?
Nasdaq.
Oh, I thought crypto.
Nasdaq.
Huh.
I'm coming to that.
Huh.
What did better than Nasdaq? The Mag 7 index.
Hmm.
What did better than Mag 7?
Crypto? No.
Nvidia.
अच्छा. Max 7 में Nvidia है ही ना.
But वो index जो Mag 7 है उसके comparison में Nvidia was the grandfather of them all. Dogecoin is the bap of Nvidia as well. 7,000% gain, 7,000x gains, something like that, from August 19 to August 25.
But
Insane.
ये सब चीजें in hindsight you can talk about,
Yes.
right?
So
at that point in time, you need to take a call.
Yes.
And many investors are not able to actually.
Maybe you couldn't take a call on
Yeah.
Dogecoin.
Yeah.
But if you didn't take a call on Nvidia, then the fault is yours. By any chance. Now, so I just thought that was a good trivia.
When you spoke about Zomato and Swiggy and maybe Zepto, there was a good note which came in today from Macquarie. Downgrade. Zomato versus Swiggy, they've done. And they're saying that how Zepto has gained some kind of market share in the last 1 month or so. But what struck me was that even though they're talking about the gains they're making in quick commerce and they've upgraded the volumes and everything, they're saying that the profitability has been pushed to 28. And
Zepto's?
Zomato and Swiggy's profitability has been pushed to 28 because of the kind of because Zepto, because of Reliance, because of Tata, because of Amazon, Flipkart.
Everybody is now competing with them.
Everybody is now competing with them.
Yeah, so who wins? Don't know. Like I said, who will do well? I don't know. You can take a bet because you think that this business has anyways done well, so could do well. So that is anybody's guess. But I'm just saying a theme that Pankaj told me way back, Ramdev Agarwal told today. A lot of other people have said that, so could be interesting.
But
sorry, what is that?
One basic
internet businesses.
Basic platform. One basic theme which is there is that you need to hold on to those convictions.
Yeah.
It cannot be a short-term one.
It can't.
Both Pankaj, both Ramdev are people
biased
who
for like 5-7 years.
5-7 years, and we have that conviction that this platform business will work over a period of 5-10 years, and it will give you that X returns, which is there.
Yeah, small portion रखो ना अपने portfolio के.
Day trading से नहीं होने वाला.
Keep a small portion of your portfolio.
Exactly.
Whichever business you buy.
Even RJ had a small portion for small trading, but उसका large portion जो था long term stocks ही था ना. Simple as that.
Agree. Yes. Always.
So he came on time for the insurance.
Yeah, उसके पहले the one thing on the big deal of the day.
Yeah, clean science.
I think the broker got cleaned out, unfortunately. No, we shouldn't make fun because it is unfortunate.
Seriously.
It is so bad. I feel bad for the person who did the trade.
Yeah, but it also shows that there are certain SOPs which are not followed in that dealing room. Simple as that.
होता ही होगा यार Sajeet. They would have done countless trades. Yeah, this could be one error.
This could well be.
It is not a fat finger.
We've not seen.
It is not a fat finger. Let me put it this way. एक ही deal, एक ही size, दो लोग punch कर रहे हैं एक साथ.
No. So we'll try and get the exact story today evening when we speak to them.
Yeah.
I think the conversation will happen post market, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying broadly, what happened is that if 24% of the clean science promoter stake was gonna come out of the market, a lot more came.
50% came.
A lot more came by error.
And then another 25% was bought from the market to counter it. Basically.
The brokerage would have had to do it, and therefore 24-25% stake is about 3,000 crores for clean science.
9,000 crore का deal हो गया पूरा market में.
हाँ, but मैं बोल रहा हूँ अगर ये कर रहे हैं, sorry, अगर ये हो रहा था, sorry, and if they suffered, the brokerage suffered 2%, 3%, whatever price they had to buy.
It went up 9% from the bottom till when we realized that this has happened. By the way, till when we were speaking with
but they have corrected
from that point till
9% क्यों ऊपर गया था भाई?
Because there was buying. So I'm saying
this is happening. Right?
I'm saying maybe not 2-3, maybe 2-3 may just be conservative. Of course, we don't
Maybe
know the
5, who
exact
knows?
number, but
we hope it is
maybe
as
4.
less as possible, because it's a lot of penalty that a broking house has to pay for an error. No malafide intent.
Yeah.
An error. So, yeah, unfortunate, but such things happen sometimes. And this was, I believe, in some sense, the largest mistake that I've seen.
Massive.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a fat finger. It's basically, I don't know what. How do
Inadvertent errors.
inadvertent तो कभी नहीं होता है भाई, ऐसी चीज पे मतलब
I mean,
don't give such a benefit of
no,
doubt
no,
easily.
यार, I mean, उतना
It
तो
is
sorry, but sir,
lack
देना
of
पड़ेगा.
this processes, simple as that. You
हो
know,
सकता है, हो
in a dealing room, you have the chief dealer who allots the deals to all your dealers.
I would say let's wait till the
Simple as
evening.
that.
Once we talk to them, we'll be able to get a clearer picture. We'll talk about this tomorrow.
Yes.
On Bulls Bear and Banter, right?
Yes.
Okay, now insurance.
Insurance, sir, बताइए कितना कम होने वाला है मेरा प्रीमियम?
So the ballpark calculation is around 13% lower.
Premium.
Premium. that you
Explain
will pay
कीजिए,
out.
simple example से.
So okay. So say for example you pay 100 rupees of premium on a particular product, right? You will add GST to it and you'll pay 118 rupees today. So if your premium is 100, you will typically pay 118 rupees including GST. Now we know that the GST rate has become 0 and therefore now the revised premium will only be 100 rupees. But typically for a health insurance or a life insurance company, they would be availing services in the form of commission agents, in the form of consultants. All of these services would obviously, there will be a GST on those services. So the GST they collect from you, they are able to avail credit of that, or rather they are able to avail credit of the services that they're taking in against the GST that they collect from you, and they have to pay to the government only a net number. Basically, what they avail versus what they have to pay, they can pay only the net amount of that. So they're saving the quantum in terms of whatever they're availing in their services, the GST amount that they are paying on that, they're going to save that typically. And that's
Basically
built
input
into
tax credit, right?
correct. That's called input tax credit, and that's built into their cost structure as of today. Roughly, that's 2% of the premiums, roughly. And therefore, instead of the 15%, ideally, the premium should have gone down by, how do I compute the 15%? 18 over 118 in my example. So that's 15%. Ideally, it should have gone down by 15 and likely go down by maybe 13 or 14%.
Okay,
And then it will depend from
and
insurer
it
to
varies
insurer.
from company to company because
Yes.
everyone has a different cost structure.
Yes.
So a newer company will have a higher cost structure, and the older company like an LIC will have the least amount of cost structure.
Yes. So LIC's cost structure is 10%
yes.
OPEX versus maybe some of the other new age ones will have 35, 40% as well
So
in terms of
if
OPEX.
the pass on has to happen, is it fair to say that LIC is at a disadvantage at this point in time with respect to correction of rates as compared to any other private sector where the correction of rates may be slightly higher than what LIC have to do? For a life
Likely.
insurance and health insurance, hey, LIC का एक या दो product है health.
Likely, but I'd also have to analyze because LIC has the most number of commission agents. Therefore, are their commissions fairly large as a component of the overall top line that they make? Maybe that will determine somewhere that
Because there
and how much of that commission is actually under the GST ambit is the other thing that you have to look at, because a lot of the LIC agents are also not are well within the GST
20 lakh or 40 lakhs के अंदर.
20 and 40 lakhs, so well within that those thresholds, and therefore may not be GST registered. So the data isn't exactly as easy to determine, but the question only is that will LIC, your question, the larger question being that will LIC be in a better position to absorb this 100% versus others, because others just have a larger percentage in terms of their OPEX, whereas LIC has a lower percentage of OPEX and therefore in a better position to absorb it. Now, the other piece is that would you therefore, as the government or the GST council, would they consider a 5% GST rather than a nil rated GST? That's also something that could well be on the table, because the industry demand right from day one, and whenever I speak with management, is that keep the rate 5% and don't make it completely zero, because of this reason, because we get input tax credit on the services we avail. So from that perspective, you could well see a 5% GST structure as well. But the government may say, hey, that's part of what the company does. Why should the customers bear that cost? Let the company bear it. and therefore they may take a strong position to say that no, we will keep the duty 0% or the GST rate 0%. The companies need to bear this cost.
There's also one more
So
thing,
there could be
Harsh.
various ways in which this could
There's
play out, is what
also
I'm
one-
trying to say.
There's also one more thing that we need to figure out in the entire thing is that companies have four kind of products, right? You have single premium, retail single premium, retail non-single premium, group premium, group single premium, right? These are the four kind of products in the life, and same in the health also. In health, mostly it's an annual premium which is there. So half the year has anyways passed for many of them in that sense. But for the health insurance companies, but for the insurance, life insurance, depends upon how much retail is constituting as part of the total life piece.
Yes.
So it could be 45 to 65% of your portfolio is
Yes.
retail,
Very,
and
very true.
and remaining is a group kind of thing.
Very, very
Group
true.
is normally smaller amount, 5 to 15% or something which is there. So उसमें आपको 18% देना है और
Correct.
आप चार्ज भी कर रहे हैं.
Correct.
डिटेल में आप नहीं.
So maybe that also offset may happen. So I in fact would love to understand from an insurance standpoint, from an insurer themselves, as to for each insurer it will be different, of course. कि भाई, does the group GST that you are getting, or rather that you are going to pay to government, largely offset the credit that you ought to avail? If you can do that, then well, then there's a full 15%
what we
pass through.
normally
Then
see
there's
is
no
that,
then there's no problem.
What we normally see is that in an individual, the reinsurance which the companies normally do
Yes.
is a very small component because mortality rate and everything. But in group insurance, when you do it, the reinsurance amount is very high because most likely, they reach that cap much faster.
But loss
Because
ratios are higher, sir.
Loss ratios are
Everything-
higher.
everything is-
So reinsurance rates are very high in that sense. So in that case, a large part of that expense management which you're talking about comes to the group part and not to the retail part.
Possible.
So the argument which companies are making 5% crore, I am not little in line with that because retail का जो expense ratio is much lower as compared to.
So you may well be right, but that is the appeal from the
but
company.
I think the GOMA is going in favor of
And so let's
exemption.
think about this logically. If they had this math ready, then they would also push for a 0%, because it makes no sense to waste that 5% duty as well, right? It's their customers who are essentially paying 5%, which is not going in their pocket, which is going straight to the
do
government.
companies
So,
have to go back to the IRDA for approval of premium increase?
they will have to, but I think under GST law, in any case,
Because
you
here you're
cannot-
not increasing, it's not additional to the premium, right?
Yeah. So viewers, you must know that under GST law, there's a provision which says that if the GST rate comes down on a particular product or service, you cannot hike your prices purely because the GST rate has come down.
It comes under anti-profiteering.
So so under anti-profiteering, you can't do that. Now, will companies still likely do that? Yes, but they'll have to justify as to why they're increasing it, which is to justify and say that my inflation has gone up, my claims ratios have changed, or whatever, right? So they'll have to justify it through that. So this is not an easy process by any stretch. My guess is that it may be a 15% pass through, given that you've seen premiums rise up very, very sharply. So if any insurer has maybe the guts to increase further, they may well have to justify as to why they're increasing it in a very strong fashion, because already some of the premium prices have gone up quite sharply
So
over
in
the
new
last year
products,
or
you
two.
can actually factor in this.
Yes.
What happens to the existing insurer, a life insurer who's been doing life, like you and me, we pay on a monthly basis or quarterly basis or annual basis.
Annual
right?
basis,
Annual basis. There are multiple modes of doing it. But the point is that if I'm already a life I'm a customer of a life insurance product, will my price eventually go down, or will I, on a net basis, yes, it will go down, but not to that extent, right? In that sense.
No, it won't. I don't think it will go down, because net of GST, you will still have your premium income will still remain the same. So why will it go down?
No, not from a company's point, from a player's point of view. मेरा cost कम हो जाएगा.
No, of course it will go down.
हाँ,
So from a payer's point of view, of course it will go down by 15%, because
13 to 15%.
13 to 15%, depending on how the company can justify, by up to 15% broadly is the current feel.
How do you see this? And today we have the GOM, which is going to look at rate rationalization for all other products, which is consumer, non-consumer, everything.
Simplify करो यार. I think the more the tax rate is simplified, actually there might be more compliance. GST में तो खैर चलो compliance का वो आता नहीं है, but फिर भी
Compliance automatically
आ जाता है. But it's just that the simpler the taxation structure is, more people are willing to pay, and I think that tax revenues might eventually, after a short hiccup, actually
The
go
buoyancy
up.
will be much higher.
Yeah, I think so.
बचाने की क्यों इतने 8% के लिए क्यों बचाया,
You know,
इतना खर्चा कर रहे हो?
आज हम लोग इससे बात कर रहे हैं इनसे, Mr. Chandramogan of Hudson Agro.
हाँ.
We were talking to him. He's the veteran, right, of the dairy industry. He said this move, if this happens, मेरे को बताया पता नहीं है होगा कि नहीं, but अगर होता है, there are 3-pronged benefits. One, consumers have to pay less, so therefore that is a positive. Two, farmers, he explained a mechanism wherein farmers will get actually payment on time because of this. And three, he said that India's dairy exports will go up. When I asked him that, he was so sure of it.
Why? How dairy export will go up actually?
competitiveness बढ़
More
जाता है.
competitiveness. He said it's happened in
But
multiple.
GST in exports में तो लगता नहीं है ना
नहीं नहीं सर, बट पूरा
Input,
वैल्यू
ये
चेन पे
वो
तो
value
लगता है
chain पे
ना
लगता
सर.
होगा.
अच्छा, okay.
उन्होंने बोला कि मैंने उनको पूछा कि अगर ये होगा, so do you believe your exports will actually go up starting second half itself? He said 100%. He said the results will be evident in H2 FY26 itself. And you know, Mr. Chandramohan is a sharpshooter. He's like, जो
Will
होता है
this
मुंह
also
पे.
allow India to open up the dairy sector? Will our dairy sector become very competitive because we are reduced the GST?
No, my
input?
friend, there's a red line.
I'm just asking you.
Farmers, there's a red line. You will not cross.
Competitiveness.
नहीं
Increase
होगा
the
सर,
competitiveness.
नहीं होगा सर.
Sajeet,
Even if it's a quota.
even if I have to pay a personal price, I will oppose that.
What is your personal price?
I don't know. जो मोदी जी की personal price है, मेरी personal price है, simple.
His personal price could be that he's a farmer.
Farmer?
Could be, you never know. Niraj sir, the farmer.
It's a noble profession.
And a tax-free one.
Tax free, yeah.
Yeah, the hardships that they
So
take.
Ayushman, we have already
know.
spoken about insurance at length. The question. Let's go to the questions, right? And there's one thing coming from Mr. MP Jain, very well explained about insurance Hersh.
Thank you.
And
एक explainer करो बाद में.
करता हूँ सर.
कर दिया ना अभी इन्होंने अच्छी तरह
नहीं,
explain.
ये तो
जाके
पहले हमारे जो हैं वो पर अलग भी.
Guys, please do an interview with Alok Jain from Weekend Investing. We can learn a lot about momentum investing from him.
Okay.
Good
Okay.
suggestion. We'll have a look at it actually. And okay.
मैं
We are saying 5% GST on insurance. आज इंश्योरेंस पे बहुत आ रहा है. Indian what?
पर ले
what's up
लेते हैं
with
ना
the-
सर
हाँ,
सवाल.
everybody-
इंश्योरेंस ही है.
हाँ. Guys, what's up with Indian hotels? Is it still a good buy?
So you know, Lemon Tree gave a very good insight in an interview, right? That Indian hotel companies will now go outwards to places where Indians travel the most and give options. So there is like when you go to Dubai, you see that Indians who go to Dubai prefer staying in the Taj Dubai at Business Bay area or in that other area because they are good hotels. You are assured that services are सब ठीक है. If
Indian खाना मिलता है.
Indian खाना मिलता है, simple. सुबह सुबह गरम इडली मिलती है, all of that, right? So therefore, I remember Dharmesh Mehta of Dam Capital was there, and he said, "Come to my hotel and have breakfast with me. What you're eating at the breakfast? Best breakfast at Taj." Okay, chalo. So the point being, yeah, you are right. And imagine if there are multiple Taj hotels in Singapore, in Dubai. चलो अभी 3-4 हैं और हो जाएं and all of that, then it's great. And then there is a Lemon Tree, then there's whatever. So yeah, I mean, to cut a long story short, the hotel sector I think is.
So my question is simple. Why should you go and spend in overseas country? Why don't you spend in India?
अरे भाई अगर आप जा रहे हो, अगर आपका बिजनेस है वहां पे, कुछ
बिजनेस
है
है तो अच्छा ठीक है. लेजर और टूरिज्म के लिए नहीं.
हाँ नहीं, but the other point is that okay here, so okay, here's the deal. If there are people, viewers, etc., you Harsh, etc., if you guys want to see the world, right, the idea is that if travel is your passion, what do you want to do? You want to see the world. Split it up. Your noble intentions are that you do tourism in India, you spend money in India because India is a great country to do tourism. Doesn't mean that you should stop yourselves from seeing other parts of the world.
No, not at all.
Simple.
But the cost of tourism for India and overseas.
No, but sir, but we're talking about obviously someone who can spend that.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
and you're saying spend in India versus abroad. वो इतना आसान नहीं होता सर, frankly.
I would love to do that. Spend in India versus.
Even I would. I mean, but
Wait, you haven't.
I'll tell you a great business idea. The great business
टाइगर
idea.
सफारी की सब खत्म हो गया क्या?
नहीं नवंबर में जा रहा हूँ वापस. I'm telling
किधर
you.
जा रहे हो? Viewers को बता दो, वो लोग भी आएंगे.
कहाँ जा रहे हो?
पता चला कल fully book all trains.
Thank you so much for that flattery. No, we're going to paint.
अच्छा.
Because
This is the second time we're going.
yeah.
Sir, कोई dates? Any?
Guru Nanak Ji Jayanti. No, but I'm just saying it's that is brilliant. Yeah, that place, that whole safari circuit, the beach circuit in you go down from Mumbai to Goa, Ratnagiri area. Some of the beaches,
Virgin beaches.
mind blowing.
Yeah.
You don't get them anywhere. And if you really want this blue water experience, Lakshadweep, Andaman, lots.
Andaman.
You've
7 days.
told me so many times.
7 days I went and I still did not complete Andaman actually.
By the way, there is a Taj hotel coming up 10 minutes from Ram Mandir. Like, imagine the occupancy in that hotel.
चलो
Anyways,
अगला क्वेश्चन
what
क्या
else?
है? Yeah, okay. Is the market ignoring all the positive reforms being taken by the government?
No, not really. I don't think the market is ignoring.
बुलिश कैंप में आ जाए.
भाई अगर इग्नोर
अरे
करते हैं
सचिन सर को
मार्केट तो
बोलिए कि
24,000
हाँ, 3-4% तो भाग
के
गया
साथ महंगा खरीदना पड़ेगा.
ऐसे जा रहा था और गया नहीं और इनफैक्ट ऊपर आ गया.
नहीं, इन्होंने बोला है, कौन है?
Sorry.
हाँ, गौरव जी बोल रहे हैं कि सजीत सर को बोलिए कि बुलिश कैंप में आ जाए, नहीं तो एफआई के साथ महंगा खरीदना पड़ेगा. और गौरव जी मैं
Ramdev said that
That's a good one, Gaurav.
पर गौरव जी मैं ये बोलना चाहता हूँ आपको.
आज एक मिनट I want
पॉइंट के साथ हूँ.
I want to relay one incident, that one experience of mine from today morning. Everyone is talking about insurance, right? कि यार बढ़िया है, ये है, वो है. After 5, 7, 10 minutes, Sajeet sir stands up. हर्ष को जिसको आज इंश्योरेंस खरीदना है वो तो नहीं खरीदेगा. You're right, sir. You're right. But फिर भी, I mean, I'm just telling you that.
सिंपल ही बात है. मतलब कि मेरा कहने का मतलब ये है कि
जब तक GST रेट्स टिकट नहीं होंगे
मैं
तब
क्यों
तक
कभी दूं? 18% क्यों दूं?
सजीत आइसबर्ग है जो ऊपर दिखता है ना उससे 8 गुना अंदर है.
somewhere or the other you'll find that.
सिंपल. एंड हर्ष सोच पड़ रहा है, सर आप सही बोल रहे हैं.
हाँ मतलब
तो मैंने तेरा
I
सेकंड
didn't have an answer.
हर्ष ने मन
other
में
than-
बोला सजीत सर कभी तो सही बोल दो. हाँ ठीक है आज बोल दिया.
नहीं, सेकंड क्वार्टर गया आज इनके हर्ष का. सिंपल.
नहीं कितना है आज? अभी कौन सा महीना है? अगस्त है
ऑफिस चल
ना?
रहा है ना, 1.5 महीना तो बचा है ना. सिंपल.
But
that's a fact.
नहीं मेरा जो एन्युटी है वो तो रहेगा ही रहेगा ना.
आई एम टॉकिंग आज जो नया खरीद रहा है उसकी
नया
बात.
खरीद.
नया so annuity guys, if you're renewing your policy, please do it regardless of GST.
GST.
But don't do a
उसमें भी
3 year.
उसमें भी 30
Do a 1 year.
30 डेज का वो
वो
होता
होता है.
है. ये सजीत इंश्योरेंस कंपनी का दुश्मन बन गया आज. अगर आपका बट ठीक है अगर सितंबर में रिन्यू हो रहा है, अगर आपको नहीं पता है, यू कैन एक्सटेंड योर प्रीमियम पेमेंट बाय 30 days. Will they be eligible for?
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
paying the payment.
It depends on
It depends on
when
the
you're-
date and which the GST deduction also comes in.
Yeah.
हाँ, भाई ऐसे प्लीज करना मत.
ये सब risky है.
इन्वेस्टमेंट
पता चला
से
यार
बात
किसी
कर
ने-
लेना, उसके बाद करना. सिंपल एज दैट.
Insurance
But
advisors.
yes,
But try and figure out as to whether you need to pay or don't need to pay, and optimize your GST payments on
but
insurance.
you know, I just wanted to give you a fact, which I was just looking at the FI
fact.
numbers. Fact.
A fact.
I was just looking at the FI numbers, and because Gaurav was mentioning about the FI thing,
हाँ
in the first 15 days of August से August 15 के बीच में,
हाँ.
FI sold $1.6 billion in IT stocks. Net.
देखो आपके पास आईटी का ही क्वेश्चन है मृणाल जी से, पढ़िए और जवाब दीजिए. आपके पे है, आपके लिए है.
Have you seen the lows of large cap IT for this quarter, and hopefully prices go up from here to Q2 numbers? And what happens to Indian IT if Fed doesn't cut or signals rate cuts?
ये तो बड़ा है.
ये
बहुत बड़ा है.
ये बहुत बड़ा है. नहीं. My point is
सजीत पे बोल.
नहीं होगा. रेट कट नहीं होगा.
ये कट नहीं होगा.
नहीं
चलो
होगा, रेट कट नहीं होगा.
कोशिश काटने की कोशिश तो करेंगे जरूर.
नहीं कौन? फेड.
नहीं. हाँ, मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि
फेड विल कट रेट्स
इन सितंबर.
चलो कॉफी की लगी.
चलो. और एक आरबीआई भी है, एक आरबीआई रेट कट भी है अक्टूबर में.
आरबीआई में तो हाँ बोल रहा हूँ भाई. मैं
तो
फेड की बात कर रहा
दो
हूँ.
कट है आरबीआई के और 2 कट है फेड के.
अभी ये आ गया है 2 कट पे. लेकिन
दो कट आरबीआई के 25 और दो कट Fed
आई एम
के।
नॉट डिबेटिंग दैट, आई बिलीव दैट टर्मिनल रेट 5% वो ठीक है,
हाँ,
बट
नहीं एंड ऑफ द ईयर दिसंबर तक
हाँ,
फेड का भी 50 बेसिस पॉइंट बाय द एंड ऑफ द ईयर।
आप अभी नेक्स्ट पॉलिसी भी आप बात करिए 25%,
हाँ ठीक है,
25 बेसिस पॉइंट,
points.
मैं ना बोल रहा हूँ।
डन।
एक कॉफी
अगर ये होता है तो जैसे
4 कट्स ना, तो 4 कॉफीज की लगी है
नहीं,
ना।
मैं इंडिया में तो बोल रहा हूँ कट होने वाला है भाई।
दोनों केस में एक कॉफी तो इसको मिलने वाली है फ्री में। Simple as that. But if the cut happens, then as I said yesterday also, right? The IT stocks maybe are running up, maybe because they are expecting a Fed rate cut happening, and so improvement in the discretionary spend, and that is one of the reasons why that the markets are see. क्या कहते हैं, markets always discount ahead of us. Simple. And we've seen a massive outflow happening in the $1.6 billion in FIs. And that number came in only last night. And we were speaking in the afternoon yesterday. है ना नीरज की ये क्या हो सकता है reason इसका. But my thing is that yes, I think it's going to be a turnaround for Indian IT. Discretionary spend may be coming in. Just wait till September, and maybe we are going to see a big pickup happening in discretionary spend for IT companies, and that's good for large cap IT in some way. And anyways, bottom out तो हो चुका है, इससे ज़्यादा और कितना गिरेगा? Simple as that. But people are talking about large cap grow more than 3% this year. Anyways, they have factored in that. 3% तो ग्रो करेगा ही ना, उसके हिसाब से तो दोगे. So I think that's the cue for me, from an IT point of view. But yes, FIs have sold a lot and I think they're the largest. The total net sale in that period was $1.8 billion, and 1.6 is coming from FIs.
ठीक है, एक और चीज होगी, whoever gets me a cup to जितेश, अच्छा जितेश बोल रहा है, हाँ सजीत वाला रुको, बट देखो मैं बोल रहा हूँ सजीत क्यों भैया, सजीत सर मंडे को,
जितेश हमारे YouTube देखते हैं एंड वो चांस पे डांस कर रहे हैं दोनों तरफ से.
सजीत सर मंडे को सबको कॉफी पिलाएंगे,
मंडे को
हम यहाँ पे सजीत सर का केक काटेंगे, क्योंकि
काटेंगे?
सजीत सर का बर्थडे संडे को है.
तो रात गई बाद में.
नहीं थोड़ा भी नहीं, आप संडे को कॉफी भिजवा दीजिए हमें, ये ब्लिंकिट या स्विगी या जेप्टो से, हमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है.
बी फास्ट.
बट सजीत सर का केक यहाँ पे कटेगा,
जितेश केक तो मिलेगी,
और सजीत सर की तरफ से कॉफी की ट्रीट सब में बटेगी.
समोसा और चाय.
वो आप पिला रहे हैं ना?
चलो समोसा चाय मेरी तरफ से.
चलो ठीक है,
डन. सजीत सर के बर्थडे पे
डन.
चलो अगला क्वेश्चन क्या है भाई?
बस अभी अगला क्वेश्चन ये है कि रैप कब कर रहे हैं.
हाँ, आई थिंक आज क्वेश्चन लोग सो रहे हैं आज, या प्रोड्यूसर्स हमारी बात ज्यादा सुन रहे हैं और क्वेश्चंस नहीं सुन रहे हैं लोगों.
नहीं, सबको इंश्योरेंस जानना था जो हमने बात कर ली है. सो लेट्स क्लोज इट.
Yes.
हम ये क्लू दे रहे हैं कि रामदेव अग्रवाल जी का पूरा इंटरव्यू कल चलेगा. उसमें उन्होंने
5 हेडलाइंस क्या हैं?
नहीं बट सो एज वी रैप अप, जो हमने एक थीम की बात करी जो इंटरनेट बिजनेसेस है, जो दूसरी थीम है ट्यून इन टू सी द इंटरव्यू एंड ट्यून इन टुमारो, विल टॉक अबाउट दैट थीम टुमारो.
अच्छा, दूसरी थीम को ट्यून इन करना पड़ेगा, और तीसरी भी थीम है.
हाँ, 3 थीम है,
उसके लिए भी ट्यून इन करना पड़ेगा.
नहीं, हम यहाँ पे एक थीम की बात करेंगे और बाकी
ये
वो शो
बताइए, रवि जी का कब आ रहा है?
रवि जी का मंडे को आ रहा है.
मंडे को आ रहा है.
हाँ.
वो भी इंटरेस्टिंग है क्योंकि ही इज टॉकिंग अबाउट couple of companies, small and medium enterprise companies.
But more
right?
the sector and why the sector should be bet on.
It's more of a educative way of deep dive into that sector.
Yeah, most certainly. Cool. Anyways,
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.